why ESPN's anti-Sean Miller and anti-Wildcat basketball bias is openly blatant and pathetic. Why some parents are blaming Sabino High School's baseball coach is a cheater. And should immigrant children in shelters have a right to a free public education? These stories and more next on the 520. Welcome to the 520. I'm Steve Nunez.
I'm Arty the Fourth. Thanks for joining us.
And finally, you are sporting your team's colors, the Green Bay Packers.
I love it. I love it. I mean, well, I had a lot of smack on the internet, so I got to say we got to show up with the colors today.
And I want to thank all of our social media Facebook fans who follow us on the 520 for overwhelmingly supporting me and my loyalty to my Wildcats, because I would never ever wear an ASU jersey or another school team jersey for that matter. And you, on the other hand, got blasted.
I enjoy sports. I like everyone's got good color scheme. Everyone's got something to match with the pants I own. I'll keep doing it for the rest of the year.
What do you wear, pajamas?
No, jeans.
Different color pajamas for every different jersey you wear?
Good color watch,
Come on, man.
something like that.
No fair weathers allowed. Period. All right, so how biased and pathetic has ESPN become? Well, the so-called mothership of all sports put out its power ratings for the top 100 basketball teams for this upcoming season, and the Wildcats were nowhere to be found on that list. Dick Vitale's network listed, get this, ASU at 45, Oregon at 49, USC at 57, Washington at 67, Stanford at 72, and Oregon State at 99. Arizona, again, nowhere to be found. All of those teams just listed ahead of Arizona, despite Sean Miller scrambling to put together a recruiting class ranked 21st. This, again, despite ESPN's unproven report on the FBI investigation claiming Miller paid DeAndre Ayton. This is absolutely blasphemy. It's pathetic. Shame on ESPN.
Well, maybe this could be coming from the fact that Arizona's always been on the outside looking in of the Titans. They've been the underdog of the top performing teams. And this year there's nothing to report about them. A losing season wouldn't be a surprise. They don't give us a reason to care about them, do they not?
Absolutely disagree with you. There's plenty to still care about. Look, I'm not a Sean Miller fan. I called for his firing when all of this came out. But I'm a diehard Wildcat fan. And I got to give him props, and I've said this on the 520 before. I gave him props for scrambling to put together a top 25 recruiting class after all that the program went through, okay? He still has a 5-star player on the roster named Chase Jeter, who just transferred from Duke. He still has a couple of 4-star players in Brandon Williams, one of the best point guards in the country, coming in as a freshman, and Devonair Dutrieve, another 4-star. And of course, he has Brandon Randolph, he has Lee, he has Acott. Plenty of really good players. And what did ESPN base this top 100 ranking on? Quality of experience, recruiting rankings, and coaches' past performance. Look, Sean Miller has sucked in the NCAA tournament, but in the Pac-12, he's done absolutely fabulous. For the last 5 years, he's won the title or a share of it.
I agree, but all those players that you listed, they're not nationally renowned. They're regionally renowned, I would say. But I do have to say to Sean Miller, if the team cannot create a name for themselves this year, they will continue to get lost in the shuffle, get the cold shoulder on the rankings, get the cold shoulder in the tournament. They need to give us a reason to care about them
Arty,
this year.
let me just say this final word. Arizona is one of the best programs, basketball programs in the country, period. How do you rank ASU but not Arizona? Oregon State but not Arizona. It's pathetic. ESPN
a reason to care
stands
about.
now for ESP pathetic.
I'll take it. The Arizona Wildcats, the most underrated football team in the Pac-12. The media picked the Wildcats to finish 3rd in the Pac-12 South behind USC and Utah. Additionally, Arizona did not even receive a single vote to win the Pac-12 championship. This despite the fact that quarterback Khalil Tate is a Heisman candidate.
You know, this is another ridiculous ranking. I mean, come on. Coaches What the heck are you thinking? If anything, argue Arizona is actually overachievers. In 2014, they were picked to finish last. What did they do? They won the Pac-12 South. Last year, they were finished to, what? Finish projected fourth. They came in third. So, I mean, just look at the success Arizona has had. But take that all away. Take the past away. Let's look at this year. The coaches poll just came out, okay? Arizona received 2 votes. Kevin Sumlin was not one of them because he doesn't have a vote. So that means Arizona is ranked 49 coming into this season. With a Heisman candidate quarterback? Are you kidding me? What is wrong with coaches? What is wrong with the media? Picking Arizona 49?
So, to me, I've always called the Pac-12 the hardest conference to compete in. Not the conference with the largest talent pool and with the best players, the hardest conference to compete in, and that's because of the absolutely minuscule talent gap that is the Pac-12. Colorado definitely can take a swing at the Washington Huskies this year, who are in the top 10. And marketing aside, gimmicks aside, can the Kitty Cats, can the Arizona Wildcats stay competitive this year? There was numerous opportunities for them to secure a slot in the top 25 last year. Khalil Tate messed that up. There was numerous opportunities for them to go to the Pac-12 championship game, and they messed it up. If the question is, can they stay consistent? Can they have security in the top 25? The proof is in the pudding, Steve. The answer is no.
They have 9 freshmen from last year returning on their starting defense. They have a QB Heisman candidate in Tate. They have J.J. Taylor, a Doak Walker candidate. Okay, but let me just say something. You hit the nail right on the head. Marketing. Khalil Tate should be on every billboard and everybody should be talking about him. And you know what? This right here, this is Arizona's practice agenda for starting Friday for the next 8 days. You know who's not on this list right here of student athletes who are going to be available for the media? Your Heisman Trophy candidate named Khalil Tate. That to me is stupid. He should be on every day talking about Arizona football and trying to fill that stadium and selling tickets.
Well, yet again, the only time he's talked about Arizona football as the coach he didn't want to hire. He's already off to a bad start. Can we agree on that?
Oh, I agree on that. That's punishment. That's a good. Man, you hit the nail on the head on that one. Finally, you got something right. All right. Well, is Rio Nuevo betting the farm on an arena football team a sport practically on his deathbed to turn a profit for taxpayers? Well, John and Jane Q. Public are dishing out $400,000 in startup money to convert the TCC into an arena football field, but only after the ice melts on the Tucson Roadrunners season. Rio Nuevo is counting on the sport's most successful coach to resurrect the game in Tucson. And you think this actually has a chance to be very successful.
With the success of the Tucson Roadrunners at this point, anything's possible. And with Kevin Guy being an affiliate to this team, I like these odds. Kevin Guy, he's not a program sustainer. He doesn't like being handed the keys to a Lamborghini. He likes building that Lamborghini from the frame up. So with all those moving parts, I think that this team in Tucson could be premier not only in the city of Tucson, it could probably be in premier in the league that it's competing in.
I think the only way they can succeed is if they do follow the footsteps of the Tucson Roadrunners. Get out into the community, kiss babies, shake hands, show up at restaurants, go to schools, go to hospitals, embrace the community, be a part of the community because they have a big mountain to climb to be successful. There are only 4 AFL teams left. There are only 15 combined teams left in the IFL and the NAL. So it really is a dying sport. And there are too many teams that are fly-by-night. They come into a city one year, they're gone the next. But I think Kevin Guy, who has won 4 titles with the Rattlers and is a 2-time coach of the year, can actually turn something really positive into a winning program in Tucson that stays.
I agree. Should TUSD vacate Sabino High School's 2018 baseball championship title? SaberCats coach Mark Chandler is being accused of illegally recruiting top players from other schools. Sabino has an open enrollment. So far, some players and their parents are ducking questions and refusing to be interviewed?
I think it's a shame that some parents and some students are refusing to be a part of this investigation. If they're innocent, talk to the investigators or talk to TUSD and quash it. If they're not, then obviously by ducking, it has the optics of them doing something wrong. But boundaries, smoundaries, okay? Let's talk about high school sports in Tucson. Of course, the best athletes, it doesn't matter if a coach is recruiting them, the best athletes in Tucson want to go to these top schools because they just want an opportunity to get to the next level. It's no different than college athletics right now, okay? You got to market yourself and put yourself around there so that you have the best opportunity to go from college to the NFL, right? Same thing in Tucson. Same thing in high school sports.
In every city.
In every city across the country. It doesn't matter.
And my question has always been, if these coaches can't recruit, what are they supposed to do? It's even a slippery slope for a coach to take a kid out to lunch and sell his program to him. So what are they supposed to do in the meantime? It's not enough. You can't create long-term success as a coach from just picking and choosing and developing from their regional talent pool. How are you supposed to sustain a job? You'll be good one year and then you're off back to scratch the next year? That doesn't set up long-term success. How do any of these guys have a job?
I saw this years and years ago happening. How about you? You're recently in high school?
I recently graduated, and I can tell you what, that transfers has always been a slippery slope. Me at Cienega High School, we always have a few key transfers, and there's always some fishy activity going on in the media.
And guess what? South Point Catholic has been accused of doing the same thing for years. Catholic school recruiting non-Catholics. Think about that. It's happening everywhere. Well, it's time now for Rapid Fire. I fire off a topic with a local sports connection. Arty fires back a rapid response, and let me just tell you right now, Arty has no idea what I'm going to jab his way right now. So, bear down, Arizona. As previously discussed on the 520, U of A will start selling beer and wine at football games, starting with the home open against BYU on September 1st. Hypocrisy, financial desperation, or both?
It's financial desperation merely because there are some event centers that only profit off of alcohol profit. So yeah, let them take a swing at it.
Shouldn't they just start marketing Khalil Tate for Heisman?
Yes,
maybe sell some more tickets,
that's
right?
something, but that'll just add to it.
All right, Wildcat fan Kevin Caton, accused of pretending to be an employee at a Wisconsin restaurant in phone calls with the cable company so he could add the Pac-12 network to watch an Arizona basketball game, now faces 2 felony identity theft charges. Too harsh?
Yeah, that's way too harsh. Nobody gets indicted because they impersonated a pizza delivery driver. Like, that's ridiculous.
That's a good one. I like that one. Well, should a statue of ex-Wildcat and now Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Trevor Hoffman be erected in front of High Corbett Field, home of the Arizona Wildcats, baby?
I think it should. I think he doesn't show enough love to the city, so even if there's a statue erected, it'll give him a reason to come back for some photo ops.
However, he did mention the Wildcats, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course you got to.
All right, but yeah, okay, I give you that. All right, Edward Turner, a 3-star forward, wants to badly play for Arizona. His father is ex-Wildcat Joe Turner, a member of Lute Olson's 1998 Final Four team. Are you surprised Sean Miller isn't recruiting him to keep him in the Wildcat family?
He's not entertaining enough. He's not glamorous enough for Sean Miller. For Sean Miller, you have to have some sort of media baggage if he wants to have any interest in you, and this kid's just merely a fan. But, of course, Sean Miller isn't interested in attraction to the program.
But Miller did say he was going to go after 3-star recruits, right?
That's one of them.
It's one of them.
Solve the problem.
Keep
Solve
the
your own
Wildcat
problem,
Nation,
Sean.
man. Keep the
Of
family.
course.
Keep it all in the family. All right, Larry Fitzgerald, one of the greatest receivers of all time, is endorsing rookie QB Josh Rosen, saying he has a tremendous amount of skill set. But Cardinals coach Steve Wilks said starting job is Sam Bradford's to lose.
Of course, Sam Bradford is on top. Josh Rosen is the underdog, but I've never heard Larry Fitzgerald say anything bad about anyone, even when Richard Sherman is mouth and lip right in front of him. So, of course, Larry Fitzgerald will have that stuff to say.
Well, don't you think, though, he has plenty to say since he's caught a few balls from Rosen?
Yeah, sure.
And from Bradford?
And he's a good pick.
And he probably feels he's better than Bradford already?
And I agree with him. He's a good draft pick. If you're going in the first round, you better be outside Bradford.
Right. Really quick. Should Arizona football coach Kevin Sumlin make good on his promise to honor the Desert Swarm era and bring back the throwback unis at least for one game this year?
They should. Yes, they should. That would be super awesome. Me, myself, a fashion enthusiast of sports, I would wear the heck out of that stuff.
Why hasn't Sean Miller done that?
I don't know.
Honor Lute Olson era.
And I miss that they don't bring back the cactus decal in center court. That was fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Good job on the rapid response, man.
Thanks, guys.
Nice knowing
I'll be
that
here
you
all
didn't
week.
know the topics again.
It's a reaction.
Did not know the topics. A reaction. Good job. Got to give you props. All right. Let's jump right into Do We Care? As you know, we love to tackle community issues and not just sports and ask ourselves, do we care? TUSD is considering a proposal to educate migrant children being held at Southwest Key, a facility that houses hundreds of children who were separated from their parents at the border. Should migrant children have a right to a free education? Do we care?
If we're keeping them here instead of them receiving their education from their home country, yes, we should be educating them. Do they receive the right to a free education as an immigrant? I believe so, only because of how luxurious it is to be educated in the United States. But if we're keeping them here in internment camps, yes, we better be keeping them busy instead of just leaving them to watch TV.
You know, there are those who would argue that providing these migrant children that, yes, we are holding in an internment camp are costing taxpayers for providing a free education. But guess what? Holding them in these facilities is already costing taxpayers. It used to be that these facilities would get $76 million combined throughout the country from the federal government. It's almost now a $1 billion industry in the last couple of years. So what does that tell you? There's the waste, not educating them. And let me just say this, in 1982, not my opinion, it's the supreme law of the land. 1982, U.S. Supreme Court, Plyer versus Doe, ruled that migrant children should be afforded a free public education just as a U.S. citizen.
The proof is in the pudding. I agree.
It's the law, supreme law, man.
Up next, a call by Doug Ducey to repeal the so-called legislative immunity provision from the Arizona Constitution is getting a chilly reception from several senior lawmakers. Are you surprised about this one, Steve?
You know, SMH, shaking my head, and I should add SMDH, shaking my damn head, because for lawmakers to brush this repeal of this legislative immunity is just absolutely pathetic. Here are these guys who are supposed to uphold the law using this as a way to break the law, as in Representative Paul Mosley, we talked about on the 520 a couple of weeks ago, got pulled over for going 97 to 55 mile per hour zone in La Paz County. The deputy had his body cam filming him, and this lawmaker is laughing and just saying, hey, I sometimes drive as fast as 140 miles per hour, and gets away with it. It's absolutely pathetic. Lawmakers, I mean, not to repeal it or not to overturn this law is just absolutely hypocritical.
It is. I mean, they're treating the state like it's a restaurant. Like, you don't just get a free slice of pizza because you know the owner. You don't just get a free sandwich because you work here. That's what they're treating it like. It's absolute. They're absolute imbeciles.
I agree. Well, a new law takes effect August 3rd that makes it illegal to have non-disclosure agreements that bar someone who has settled a case of sexual assault or harassment from responding to questions from police or prosecutors or making statements in any criminal proceedings. Do we care?
Yes, of course we have to care. There's being more effort putting into protecting sexual predators than solving actual problems with their own resources, maybe like the cop shortage that is still present in the state.
We're out of time, so I'm just going to say two words. This is a predator loophole, and lawmakers are taking advantage of it. Absolutely pathetic. Well, you've heard the phrase, oh, no, you didn't. Well, here at the 520, we're not afraid to tell it like it is with, oh, yes, we did. Well, we're calling out pedestrians who step out into the street without looking. They think, oh, if I go, I go. YOLO, you only live once. Well, guess what? These people choose to take their lives into their own hands. When we as a community mourn another pedestrian fatality, and rightfully so, many people say, well, they deserve to get hit. Darwinism, one less idiot out there, whatever. Well, now, don't get me wrong. Drivers and plenty of idiots who are at fault, especially those texting and driving, who slam into innocent pedestrians walking in crosswalks, killing them, these drivers deserve the penalties that come with being careless and stupid. But what about innocent drivers? No one ever thinks about the toll it takes on a driver who hits and kills a pedestrian rolling out into a busy street illegally, not in a crosswalk, not in a lit area. What about the driver's safety, or having to live with their lives with the guilt of killing someone innocently? How selfish are these usually tweakers who think of no one else but themselves? Yes, a lot are tweakers who just dart out into the street. But what about kids who often witness these fatal crashes, the trauma, the lifelong emotional scars they have to live with? Well, Tucson, let's face it, we have a serious jaywalking problem. Will a media campaign do anything to change it? Probably not. Police are now cracking down on jaywalkers. Used to be something like a beer run. They don't even respond to it anymore. Now they're giving out tickets. Is it working? Apparently not. At the rate we're going, it's going to have to start at home. Teaching your kids not to jaywalk and the dangers that come with the risk of doing so if they choose to cross the street illegally. Well, pedestrian fatalities are ruining too many innocent lives. And to say that if you're driving in Tucson and you haven't hit one of these people who just dart out into the street, I don't know anyone who hasn't.
At least nearly.
Correct.
So well, that's
it has to stop, man.
It does. Now it's my turn. A few days ago, NBA superstar LeBron James opened up the I Promise School in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. With enrollment to this school, this includes free tuition, free uniforms, free bicycle and helmet, free transportation within 2 miles, free breakfast, lunch and snacks, food pantry for families, GEDs and job placement services for parents, and guaranteed tuition to the University of Akron, Ohio. Now this just gets to me because I thought he was supposed to shut up and dribble. You're a basketball player, sir. You do not have anyone's permission to use your platform to create opportunity for underprivileged youth. What's your problem? Laura Ingraham was right. Stick to basketball. Spend your money on Cadillacs and jewelry, not guaranteeing tuition for I Promise's graduates to Akron University, which is a luxury to even privileged graduates that they don't have. And gosh dang, if you become a role model for one more dang kid and set an example that being a minority athlete is a much greater responsibility than repping my city, I'm gonna lose it on you, LeBron James. And for all you other athletes out there vocalizing your beliefs, remember this: when you don't shut up and dribble, you end up just like LeBron James, affecting families and children by giving them the systemic foundation that could mean my grandkids don't have to worry about college. I got them because LeBron got me a decade before. How terrible, guys. Think about the children. What happens if my kid sees LeBron on TV doing that?
How dare
how selfish.
How dare you, minority, get an education?
Oh my goodness.
How dare you give $40 million back to charity
I pay him,
and open your own school? How dare you?
I want to watch him play basketball. I don't want to watch him provide good opportunities.
Unbelievable, brochacho. That was well said.
Thank you.
Got to give you props on that one. Well, before we go, take a look at the clip of the week. 2 major props to give out this week. First, a big congratulations to U of A softball coach Mike Kendrea for being inducted into the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame. Kendrea won 8 national titles and has chalked up 1,563 wins in 33 seasons at Arizona. Also, a big congrats to ex-Wildcat Trevor Hoffman, and now Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, 7-time All-Star, racked up 601 saves in 18 seasons. Wildcats, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Ring the bell, ring the bell.
Well, that does it for this episode of the 520. Our goal is to tell it like it is because it's all about giving voice to opinions, even if you don't agree.
Be sure to follow the 520 on Facebook and on Twitter at the 520 Tucson.
And if you have a topic you want us to cover, send us an email at the 520@KVOA.com. I'm Steve Nunez.
And I'm Arty IV. Join us next week on the 520.
Go Wildcats.